What is good? It is your boy Mikeyyywill here. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are building a 72-volt battery for this mini quad. We are building it on a TRX 90. I am actually giving it away. Go check out some of the other videos on how to win it. I will put this in the description as well. But first thing we're gonna do is I got some 2P nickel strips. I'm gonna cut those joints out, and you're gonna measure it. Make sure you have enough to reach both sides, reach all the cells, and it's about like 20 of them, or 18 of them, whatever, because you're going to do some custom ones along the way, and I'll show you what to do there. But first things first, we got to test a couple of these cells, make sure they are good. There's a bunch of tests you can do, but the easiest test is obviously with the multimeter. These things are brand new, so they're pretty good. So I usually just test a couple, make sure they all read the same, make sure when I put it together, it will have a similar nominal voltage when it's just idle, or when you get it like fresh, You're going to need a spot welder, a good spot welder. I got all the cells lined up in the packs. But first things first, we got to just talk about what a series circuit is versus just a parallel circuit. And this is what we're building, a series circuited battery. And so all the lithium cells will go in that order. Those keep flipping up into upside down all the way up until 20S, which is 20 cells. So this is the first cell. This is the first line of cells. So that was the main positive. And from there, you're going to flip it over. You're going to use the bottom, and you're going to hit both sides. And guys, I'm just hitting them one time with the spot welder. Sometimes you're going to need maybe 2 or 3 tacks to make sure it's good. And guys, I cannot explain this enough. Double, triple check everything you're doing, because in the lower side of building the battery and you touch some of those nickel strips to the other cells, it'll spark a little bit. But when you get more towards the end side of the battery build, when you're at that 40, 50, 60 volt range, it can arc weld, and then you can ruin your whole pack. I do not want you guys to do that. That is terrible. It's a terrible feeling, because it will catch on fire. There's nothing you can do about it. You're going to get that thermal runaway, and it's over. But getting back to the battery build, I actually could not find 10 hole spacers, so I got 2 5x8s. It's totaling in about, 40? So there is 120 cells in this pack. And guys, you're going to have to go through each individual row in the 2P, which is just like 2-ply nickel strip. Makes this a whole lot easier. I remember I was doing this with the 1 single ply, and it took a whole lot longer. But guys, you want to carefully flip this thing back over, and you're just going to keep going through each side until you reach 10S. 10S is 36 volt, and you can put the 2 packs together. We are going to put 2 packs together and make 72. But with that being said, there's going to be a bridge that folds, so you can fold it in half and make this battery fit into this small 7x10x7 battery box that my homie made for me. I'm so happy for that. Thank you, homie. If you're seeing this, thank you again so much. But so from there, you got to remember which side you had it on. Remember the orientation, because you're going to be flipping through the other pack, and you don't want to have to go back and try to fix something that is messed up. But again, guys, just go slow, take your time. A good spot welder helps, guys. I cannot stress that enough as well. I got this thing a couple of years ago, and this thing's been holding up pretty good. And you guys can see that I did 2 packs in relatively maybe like an hour and some change. Maybe a little more. I mean, it was like an hour and like 45 minutes. But now it's time to double it all up. This battery is supposed to be able to support up to 170 amps. So we are going to double up the nickel strips just to be on the safe side. We're also going to add some copper strips, but we'll talk about that later when we get there. So you're going to crank up your spot welder a little bit, and you're going to make sure you make some good connections. And then from here, I'm actually at my friend's shop, Jimmy's Cell Phone Repair. Go check him out if you need your phone fixed. This ain't no paid advertisement. I just appreciate how he's he basically taught me like all this stuff, and like kept pushing me to be able to do crazier and crazier builds. And this is one of the cleanest builds I've had in a long time. But now we're getting to the bridge. You're going to make sure you get that spacing correct, because when you fold it, you don't want to have too much exposed nickel when you fold it, so it could easily like try to rip off. Even though it's spot welded and everything is really good, if you spot weld it good, it won't come off. But like with enough force, it could bend off and cause a fire, unfortunately. But this is this part is pretty easy. You're just gonna make it just like that. You're gonna cut the nickel strips in half and just spot weld them, double them up, same thing. And you're gonna want a lot more nickel strips near the center, because that's where most of the load will fall when you fold these packs. And there we go, about 70.3 volts, 70.2 volts nominal, and that's what you're looking for. You gotta make sure you test it with a multimeter. And now it's time for the copper strips. I did not want to use too much copper strips, because just the nickel strips alone, that they're doubled up, will hold up. It'll give you a lot more durability and a lot more heat dissipation. But the copper strips are just for added protection. And with that being said, I could have went the whole pack going all the way down, but I found a way easier just to put them in the middle and make sure this thing stayed nice and neat and tidy. Now it's time to go on to the BMS. I actually got this new type of ant BMS. Guys, like, I was in over my head. This thing was nothing but problems. If I were you guys, I would go for the 8 to 20 BMSs. I have had zero problems with that. That's what I end up having to put on after going through all this. After literally, and I actually like wired it up correctly to the wiring diagram. Like, that is correct, but for some reason it just would not register. But this is the correct procedure and how to do it. And if you can somehow make it work, more power to you, man. I couldn't. It kept saying like a battery. One of the series lines was disconnected, but they were all brand new wires. I did not get it, and then it's just me triple checking everything, going over a voltmeter, and for still some weird reason I could not get it. But put some leads on, and put a little charger cable on, because you really should have two dedicated cables, just in case, just so you don't have to like unplug your whole battery if it's in something all the time. But yeah, you gotta crimp on some lugs so I can make it easier for the BMS, because the BMS already comes with lugs. So I just wanted to be able to bolt it on, give it some real strong bolts. I used M6s, and like make some real strong connections as well. And from here, use a little bit of two-sided tape, stuck it on there. And guys, everything here you would do with the 8 to 20 BMS as well. Just the wiring diagram is a little bit different. It would look, and the BMS is a little bit smaller by itself too. So got to put on this XT60 to make sure I can use my charger, because I have a bunch of 72 volt chargers with XT60s on them. That is a QS8, and that is for the main power. So we got the black for negative and the white for positive, because I only had gray wire, if you guys didn't notice. And that's how it looked when I thought it was good. I thought everything was good here. Made sure, now I'm just checking the bolts, making sure everything is like lined up right before I tighten this thing down. And guys, it's very frustrating, I even took it to Facebook, and some people even reached out and tried to help me out. I just could not figure it out. But obviously, you would still cover up the bolts, make sure they don't like rub or anything. Make sure you put like little pads underneath them. You need the temp sensors, or the BMS might not run what it's supposed to run, or just have some crazy malfunctions. Just because of the weird temp sensor, you need it, I know. And for this, you want to put the BMS, you want to put the leads negative to positive, because you can risk shorting out the board as well. Do not plug these in without the negative connected because you could risk shorting out the board and then the BMS is fried and you need another one. So this is what you would do. There's a couple ways to do it. I usually just put it on the charger and it would like turn on. It would snap itself on. You have to go to the app and then from there. But that is the wiring diagram for the BMS that I did use, and there it is, all wired up and everything. For the rest of this, guys, you have to like put some PVC shrink wrap on it. Do whatever you can, Put some padding on it, and you guys know what it is. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Got more content coming soon. Peace.